Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
Whoa, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago. Click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, man. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. It's free, free 99. You don't got to pay anything. You don't got to pay nothing, man. You don't have to pay anything. Free 99. Right? And also click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to it. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, yeah, please, come on. Don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. What's wrong with you? We've been at this for a minute. Listen, wherever you get your apps from, and it doesn't matter, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, Weebolts, Gold Blast. Doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. We have our own Roku channel. We're on the big screen, baby. We're doing big things. Listen, if you have a Roku television in the house, do us this favor. Download Sports Zone channel right to your television. Do it. Right to your television. Put us there next to Netflix, Prime, Max, Hulu, Disney Plus, Stars. Oh, snap. Stars are starting soon. I can't wait. The Chi is back on Showtime on the app. Woo! I digress. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel right to your television. You could watch us on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen right Mickey Ficky now. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Chi, CHI at Sports Zone Chi. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you, folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle. At the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. I'll incorporate it into the show, and that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago sports mornings talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's see who we got in the chat, because the chat is jumping like mad already. Cornelius Squalls in the house. What up? Papa, what up, sports zoners? All my sports zoners in the house. What's up? Levette Lee, good morning, mama. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. My man, 50 grand, Armando Emeterio. Lara Junior, my man, Junior's in the house. That's what I'm talking about. You know, he's going to have some smart-ass comments, but that's who he is. Michelle Wall's in the house. Yes, they did, doctor. They gave that game away. You're up 5-0, and yeah. It's not, don't even get me started. Do not get me started. My man Jay Grizz in the house. Good morning, Baba. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. AC Adams. AC Adam in the house, man. I'm telling you. All right, don't start this shit, bro. Don't even start that, bro. Don't. Is that are you in the? Oh, you're in a Cubs shirt on your profile pic. Oh, que la chihuahua. Este hombre. Oh man. Security. Damn you, Steve-O. Do not. Say, Grizz, you're a fool. That's a jam. Oh, my goodness. That's funny. Way to start off my day, baby. You guys are starting it off. Steve-O. The disrespect, Steve-O. The disrespect. Oh, man. We got a great show, but I'm telling you, we need, man, get interactive, man. Get interactive with us. Leave all your questions here, man. It's going to be fun. You know, I'm in a great mood this morning. I'm in a really good mood this morning. I actually got to sleep at late. I didn't go to CrossFit today. I took a day off. Today was my day off from CrossFit. So I got to sleep in a little bit. Probably go tomorrow. I might even take off tomorrow. I got to look at the workout tomorrow. I might even do that, or maybe go and work out later in the day so I have a little more energy and my body won't be as stiff. And, you know, when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, your body's not completely awake yet, you know? So we'll see. Yeah, I know, Jay Grizz. It's all good, Papa. It's just shit talking between Cubs and Sox fans. You know the old saying, baseball divides us, football unites us. So, and basketball and hockey for those of us who like hockey. Oh man, but we're gonna get started early today. So man, we got to get going. We got to get started with our top of the morning topics at 9:30. My man Shawn Davis is going to join us. We're going to talk NBA Finals. They start tomorrow. Man, what a game and what a series it's going to be. The Boston Celtics, wicked pissa, have home court advantage, are looking for their 18th NBA championship. They're gonna be taking down the Dallas Mavericks, and I will tell you, yeah, yeah, we were. I'll tell you who I pick. I thought about it. I was going back and forth, and then finally, one deciding factor. There was one deciding factor, and I'll tell you about it probably after the 10:30 break. All right. But Shawn Davis, no, actually, I'll tell you with Shawn. He's coming out at 9:30. So just before we let him go, I'll let you know who I predict is going to win the NBA title. And then at 10 o'clock, my man Lester Will Fong Jr. He's the editor-in-chief over at Winnie City Gridiron. And we're going to talk to Bears with him. The Bears had the first day of mandatory mini camp yesterday, and everyone was in attendance. Not everyone participated, but everyone's in attendance. Nate Davis, all right, you're starting to really piss me off. Sorry, Nate. Actually, I'm not sorry. You're starting to piss me off. That's an okay cup of tea. You know why? I ran out of honey. So it's not as sweet. You could taste a hint of honey, but it's still pretty good. But it's not the best. It's not the best. All right. But yeah, 9:30, Shawn Davis. We're talking NBA Finals. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's going to be an interesting matchup starting tomorrow night. And then at 10 o'clock, Lester Wilfong Jr. talking Bears. But let's get it started, baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you, baby. How you doing? How you doing? Guys, you know how we do. You know where we're going. Game 1 of the Crosstown Classic yesterday. The North Side edition. Yeah. The Cubs come from behind to beat the White Sox 7-6. Imanaga, he got to start his second consecutive shaky start. He got a no decision. He went 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. Only one was earned. All right, no walks, 6 punch outs. Ian Happ was 3 for 4. Hitting 2, the second being the game deciding double for his 12th and 13th doubles of the season, 25th and 26th runs of the season. Christopher Morel, yesterday, you see him here about to stomp on home plate. He was 2 for 4 with a homer, his 11th. That brought the Cubs back. They were down 5-1 at the time. They brought it to 5-3 to bring him into the game, driving in his 36th and 37th run of the season. Patrick Wisdom, pinch hit home run. He was 1 for 2. Good move by Craig Counsell, bringing in Patrick Wisdom. He rewards him with a homer, his 3rd of the season, driving in his 11th and 12th runs of the year. You know, it was a good game. A good game. We were talking yesterday, me, Junior, and Mondo, and it was a 4th inning, I want to say. And Mondo says something like, imagine it was 5-0 Sox. He goes, imagine the Cubs losing to the Sox 5-0. What I say? This is how much faith I have in my team. I said, that would be great, but it won't last. And then Mondo was like, these guys aren't scoring 5 runs. I'm like, yeah, it won't last. All of a sudden, there you go. Boom. A lot of shit talking was done at the stadium yesterday, and my guy in and around it. But you know what? Good game. Cubs came back and won it. They need to. You know, they can't afford to drop games like this to the White Sox. The White Sox can't afford to lose games like that last night. All right, there was a 42-minute rain delay, and that really changed the tide again. Another rain delay. One happened in 2016. Shit, that was, you know what? Damn. That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Holy sheesh. After the 42-minute rain delay, the White Sox bullpen just could not stop the Cubs. They were just serving up gopher balls. It was embarrassing. From the Sox end of it, Chris Flexen, he's got to start. He got a no decision. He went 5 innings. Nice outing for Chris. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 4 punch outs. All right, Lewis Robert came back off the DL. He was 2 for 4 with a homer, his 3rd of the season. Driving in his 5th RBI. Man, he put that one deep into the left center field bleachers. That was awesome to see. That was his 5th run. Lenin Sosa was 2 for 3. He had his first home run of the year against Alpha Imanaga, driving in his 2nd and 3rd runs of the season. Cor was 1 for 4, double his 4th of the season, driving in his 14th and 15th runs of the year. It looked good. It started off good, but again, as I said, I just wasn't. Obviously, I couldn't predict the rain delay. Okay, but that looks like what really got the Cubs refocused, re-energized, And then, they got their guy out. We got our guy out, and we went to work on our bullpen. Anyway, game 2 of the Crossout Classic is tonight at Wrigley. First pitch is at 7:05 p.m. Central. Eric Fetty's had a bump for the good guys. He's 4-1 with a 3.12 ERA. The Northsiders will trot out Jamison Tyone. He's 3-2 with a 2.84 ERA. As I said, that game is at 7:05. If you're a Sox fan, you can catch it on NBC Sports Chicago and listen to their flagship on AM 1000. If you're a Cub fan, you can catch it on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. Moving on. The next top of the morning topic is the tough one. Not that one. The Sky. Sky fall to the New York Liberty yesterday, 88-75. Whew. It was a rough one. It was a rough one, let me tell you. All right, Kennedy Carter, the villain in the WNBA and all around the country. She led the way with 16 points. Marina Mabry contributed 16.6 boards, 5 dimes. And Angel Reese with a double-double, 13 points, 10 rebounds. One of the side notes of the game, Angel Reese was kicked out of the game yesterday with 2:31 remaining in the fourth quarter. Got a double technical. The first one was for, quote-unquote, disrespectfully addressing the official. And the second tech, which was given immediately after, was for her waving her hand in dismissal of the first technical. So she got 2 quick techs, and you're out. She was 2 things. One, she's got to get better control of her emotions. All right. She's 22 years old. She's young. All right. Just remember how emotional and crazy you were at 22. Okay. Just remember. All right. Teresa Witherspoon's got to do a good job. She's got to take her aside and say, hey, listen, you can't do that. All right. You're going to be with the league. And it happens to everybody. Trust me. But this can't become a habit. That's all. So you just nip it in the bud. Just say, hey, listen, it's fine. I get it. You're passionate. You're upset. You thought it was a bullshit call. You're upset. Cool. Fine. But that doesn't do you any good getting yourself kicked out of the game. You have to. You must. It's imperative that you keep your composure. You maintain your composure at all times. All right. And that's all. Just have that talk and then boom, let it go, and then keep moving on. Okay, that's what you need. So tough game for the ladies, but they're right back on a horse. The Sky play at Washington tomorrow. Tip off is at 6 p.m. Central, and you can catch that on the U, Channel 26, the U, if you're in the Chicagoland area. Let's see. Man, we got a whole bunch of people just checked in. That's what I'm talking about. Levette Lee, stop this blasphemy. Now come to the north side, but I'm not rooting for the north side. I'll go. I'm going to be on the north side tonight. I'll be over by Harlem and Irving. Junior, I might stop by before I got to go to a meeting up there. You're right, Junior. Lubov should have been the hero last night, but our bullpen said, wait, we don't want our guy to be the hero. Let's make one of the Cubs the hero. Plank is in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Who preached their pep talk during this rain delay? Dexter Fowler's gone, so who was the guy? Oh, man, King Book of World. What's up, baby? How are you? I'm just laughing every time I see your face, dog, because I'm still thinking of your comment, BBL Braxy. And you got like a smirk on your face on your photo. And I could just see you saying it. and making that smirk, knowing that everyone's gonna crack up, and we did. BBL Braxy. Oh, I digress. Get out of here, you crazy as heck. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness gracious, great balls of fire. The next top of the morning topic, the Bears had the first day of mandatory mini camp yesterday, and let me tell you something. Everyone was there, although not everyone participated. Nate Davis did not participate. Montez Sweat did not participate. I believe Montez Sweat participated a little bit, but Nate Davis did not. I believe they just held them both back. They held Montez Sweat back because he was just ramping them up. But the Nate Davis thing is like, come on, Papa. Like, AC Adam, I'm with you here. Wonder if this Nate Davis stuff will turn into Eddie Goldman situation. Yeah, I come on, bro. I'm sorry for the loss of your mother last year, and I get it. I understand why you took time away. I get it. But there have been rumors before that you just weren't all in from your previous team. Okay? That you just weren't all in, and if that's the case, cool, I get it. But don't string the team along. Let them do what they got to do to replace. If they gave you 3 years, $30 million. 3-year deal for $30 million, 10 apiece. All right. I mean, now if you're just out there trying to collect that 10 mil, that I understand, but damn. I ain't mad at you but man, I don't know. I see both sides of it. But King Book of World. Yes, that was classic. He's funny. You know what, Junior? I don't know, man. Who can't get motivated for 30 mil? 10 a year? I don't know, man. Put that in front of me. I'm playing my ass off, but we're not all built. We're not all built the same way. I just, you hope for, this is, when you're playing this game as a kid. Yeah, we all talk about, I want to be a professional player. I want to play in the NFL. I was fortunate to be a professional player. I did not play in the NFL, but I was fortunate enough to play overseas, which was pretty cool. That was a great experience in itself. So I got to live out my dream as a professional football player, and I loved it. Okay, and believe me, I only made a few grand a month over there, and that was 1993, 94. All right, when you throw in $10 million a year, $10 million a year my way, yeah, that's a whole different ball game. And you put your a lot of all your personal things aside, and you realize this. And I understand when people say money's not everything. No, I get it. But you understand the freedom that it's given you? Do you understand? Like, you do this because you love it, but think of what you're doing for your family. Like 10 mil, like, how many properties you can buy? How, in real estate, you can get into properties, get a whole bunch of multi-units. All right, and now your money's making money for you. Your properties are generating income for you every month. See that, put them in a trust, pass these on to your kids. All right, your wife or your kids, so if you die, because for whatever reason, men seem to die before their wives. Actually, maybe they just want to get away from their wives. I don't know. But, like, you know what that can do? Like, you've literally set up your life, your lineage for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? And you got to look at the big picture. You got to look at the big picture. All right, play the contract out, and when you do, play it to the best of your ability. All right, get out there. All right. Anything you're frustrated about, you don't like, man, you got the perfect outlet, perfect vehicle to take out your frustrations. That's why I played till I was 40. I played football till I was 40. I retired when I was 40. Anger issues, stress. Man, I don't know. Hopefully he gets out there, and hopefully this is all water under the bridge. It's a non-issue. All right, I really, really hope so. But here's what I got to do. I got to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my guy, Shawn Davis. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Move it! Yes, sir! Move that
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Here's Maldonado with a man on and nobody out.
Line drive, Swanson picks it up with a short hop and starts a 6-4-3. Gorgeous.
A tip of the cap from Shota Imanaga to Dansby Swanson. Thank you, my friend.
From Christopher Morel.
In the air, left center field. Christopher Morel parks it into the bleachers.
Looked like a hanging breaking ball. There you go. That's what we were both talking about. You hit home runs. Swinging a fly ball, left center and deep. Back goes Robert near the wall. It's a home run for Wisdom. The ball game is tied at 5. Ian Happ, the batter. And he hits a drive to right field. On the run, Sheets. It gets past him. Bellinger scores. The slide. He scores. Cubs lead a 2-run.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. 5-0. 5-0 we had them. And I knew it. Once Mondo's like, losing, I was like, Papa, it's not going to last. I just don't have confidence in our bullpen. But it was a good one. It was a good one. Cub fans got the W there. A lot of alcohol was flowing last night. A lot of shit talking was happening last night. You know what? It was good. It's good. You know what? Chicago needs it. It's just something to buy time while we're waiting for this NFL season to start. And I'll tell you what, I am more than excited for this NFL season. But we got some other cool stuff going on right now, and that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to is the NBA Finals. And my next guest is a good friend of mine and a good friend of the program. He's the co-host of the Lucky Lefty podcast, recruiting analyst for IrishBreakdown.com. But it's a guy that that he's one of those guys that I told you. There's a handful of guys that I have, just a handful that I could talk any sports with. We can talk baseball, we can talk football, we can talk basketball, and we can even talk hockey if you want. All right. And he's one of the guys that I can do that with, and I enjoy it. You can find him on Twitter at SD2Mics. It's MICS. SD2Mics. Let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Shawn Davis. Shawn, what's up, Papa? Good morning.
Yo, my brother, how you feeling this morning, man?
Man, I'm feeling really good, man. Didn't go work out today. Took the day off. And I got to sleep to the late hour of 7:15. I was like, oh, snap. This is what it's like to get 6 hours of sleep. Oh, jeez.
Well, I'm glad you got some, man. You must not be around cicadas.
For some reason, there's not a lot out here in Orland. Maybe when I go by the woods, they're there, but they're not too many out here. I see them, but it's not as crazy as other people. Other people are going nuts over them. But yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. How's it going with you, Papa?
Man, it's going really good, man. Other than what you just talked about, what transpired at Wrigley Field last night, everything is looking up for me.
I hear you, man. I just didn't think. I was hoping and praying, but I just didn't. And then DeYoung in the bottom of the eighth, DeYoung had that. It was the ground ball up the middle of the field. He gets it. He didn't have enough momentum to toss the ball with his right hand. He tried to toss it with his glove. It was perfect. 6-4-3 double play. Everybody's safe. Boom. Here comes Ian Happ. Doubles. Game over. I was like, son of a biscuit, man. And I was like, that's it. I was watching something. I had to run and do an errand late last night. And as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm done. Game over. That's it.
I don't know what the White Sox seem to have something against athletic baseball players.
Tell me about it.
I don't know what it is. They just refuse to go after, evaluate, draft, and develop athletic baseball players, right? The last athlete they got was Tim Anderson. That was the last athlete they got. And he had his flaws and, his time here. Most fans would say he gave us about everything he could have given before his departure. Like, I'm happy with what he gave. I wish he had given more. But, I mean, he was he led the league in hits for 2 years, for 3 years. And then the man was the average leader for a season. So, that was a kid that they got that had promise. He's athletic. He was raw.
And here's the crazy thing. They developed him. Oh, my God. They developed him.
So, obviously, it can be done. They just refuse to go get guys like that and find guys like that. They want robots that can only play one position. They really can't do anything else, or they play out of position. It's just the direction of this entire organization is puzzling right now. And now we're looking at what? They're talking about. I saw a report of the early trade deadline. They're talking about Crochet and Robert being on the block. It's crazy.
Man, if Lou Bob goes, like, he's the only. I still love me some Yo-Yo, but he's always been hurt. Unfortunately, he never lived up to potential. But God bless it. This kid, Louis Robert, is an unbelievable talent. And he's coming, like, he's 25, I want to say. Like, he's literally about to hit his prime. And you're going to trade him.
They have to. They don't have to if they were smart, but they have to. Why? Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't pay everyday players. He just doesn't. The only franchise to have not offered a $100 million contract in Major League Baseball. You know how embarrassing that is?
Yep. Well, let's get away from that embarrassing discussion, because I'm probably going to cry when we get off the air.
I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. They've offered it, but to never have given and signed a player to $100 million contract. Because they did offer Manny over
Manny.
that. Yeah, they offered Manny big bucks.
And he was like, "You think I want to go to that fire show?" He's like, "Hell no, I'm going to San Diego. Get out of here."
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Let's talk NBA Finals, man. I'm fired up, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about the finals. I'm looking forward to it. The Dallas Mavericks. All right, and their 1-2 punch, which is deadly. Kyrie and Luka going up against the Boston Celtics. Now, the Boston Celtics they're the preseason favorite by many people to win the NBA title. Your thoughts? How's Boston looking in search and quest for their 18th NBA banner?
Now, this is an absolutely agonizing series to analyze when you look at it, right? Because just the truth of the matter is the Boston Celtics have been the best team in the NBA from start to finish all season.
Yep.
All season. And if they are healthy and if Porzingis plays any part of this series, Boston should win this series. But then the heart tells you that the way the Dallas Mavericks have come on this season, with Luka being a top-notch MVP candidate all year, with the evolution of one Kyrie Irving, the leader that he's become, the man that he's become, it's an absolutely incredible story. And then we have to give flowers to Jason Kidd, his evolution, becoming an elite head coach in the NBA. We have to give love to their GM who just got an extension and the moves he made. Adding, yes, a guy that was drafted by the Chicago Bulls and they didn't they didn't develop him. Daniel Gafford, he means a lot to that team.
Yep.
PJ Washington, getting him from the Hornets, what he's been able to do, the toughness, the three-point shooting that they've added, the way they've allowed the floor to be stretched, giving more room for Luka and Kyrie to go to work is absolutely amazing. And then their evaluation of Derek Lively. And a lot of people said, man, they took him earlier than we expected him to go in the draft. They had a vision of what he could bring to that team. And the most surprising thing, a lot of people knew because of his size and length that he would be able to defend the rim, but people did not know. And something they were able to see as they worked him out was his ability to receive the ball in the middle of the floor and properly distribute it to others on the backside, because they knew Kyrie and Luka are going to get double teamed. So we need a guy that when he gets the ball that can take a dribble and either finish at the rim or distribute to the three-point shooters. That young man has been a pleasant surprise as well. So with all of that being said, it's my head and the logical thoughts of Boston being the best team from start to finish versus, man, Dallas has made all the right moves and they are hot as fish grease right now. And that's where my heart is going. So I still have another, 20, 30 plus hours to try and figure it out. I go back and forth. I vacillate. And ultimately, I think I'm going to settle with the Boston Celtics. They've been there before, but heck, Kyrie's been there before. But
bingo,
the Celtics team has been there before. Kyrie by himself, I don't know if that's enough, but I think we're going to get some fabulous fourth quarter drama in this series for about 6 or 7 games.
I agree with you, and then that's exactly why I'm excited about it. Boston's kind of in a no-win situation, because if they win it, you're like, well, you've been the best team, you're supposed to win it. We'd be upset if you didn't. And if you didn't win it, well, then they're upset. And now they're, those fans in Boston. And secondly, first of all, let me just go off on a tangent. Can't stand Boston fans. I went to school out there, okay, in Massachusetts. I'd hear about the Celtics and wicked piss all the time and the most titles in NBA history. And then after I left, and Tom Terrific came over for 20 years and decided to run the NFL. And then the Red Sox had their little run with 3 titles in like 7, 8 years. All right, like, dude, and the Bruins won a title. I'm like, all right, enough. I'm tired of these Boston guys, man. But it would be I guess it would be an upset because, as you said, Boston's been number 1 preseason by many pundits, and now they just sealed a deal. I personally am going with Dallas, and here's why. I think Tatum and Brown are phenomenal. They got great players. But to me, guard play is essential. It is essential. And you got the two of the best guards in the NBA, and not just guards, closers. Because Jason Tatum is a closer. These are guards that are closers. They don't got to get the ball passed to them. They can do it themselves. And that's the thing that I like. And not just one. Kyrie's already got a chip. But Luka's been playing since he was like 5 years old as a professional. Jesus, that kid was like 6'3" when he was born.
Yeah.
All right. So these moments aren't crazy. The moment isn't too big for him either. And I think he's excited to finally get his shot at a ring. And that's why I'm going just the guard play alone, because that's not taking nothing away from Boston, because they were the best team for a reason. Tatum and Brown, man, they really, really did a number on the NBA this year. They started hot and stayed hot. But I think Dallas is the one thing that I love about Dallas is the roles. Everybody has a role. All right. It's not positionless basketball like so many other teams. All right. Everyone's got a role. Daniel Gafford doesn't come in and take 3-pointers. He knows I got to get down there. I got to protect the rim. I got to rebound. I got to put back. That's my job. I got to do all the dirty work. And he revels in it. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the thing that I love. Jason, you mentioned Jason Kidd. Hats off to that dude, man.
Yeah.
Hats off to him for seeing it. And I like him because he's old school, because he's one of those guys like, yeah, you need a role. You do this, you do this, you do this. I don't need you doing his role. I don't need you doing his role. I need you doing your own role. And that's what has me leaning a lot toward or having Dallas win. I say Dallas in 6. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people, man. They're going to surprise a lot of people. But either way, it's going to be fun, because I want to see if there's a lot of pressure when you're number one to start and I'm number one at the end and expected to win the chip. There's a lot of pressure. Can Boston handle it? I don't know.
And I think, in my opinion, this is what's fabulous, because I think both teams have defensive counters to what the other team wants to do, right? Derek White, the size of Derek White, Drew Holiday. Those are two pretty good defenders to try and slow down Luka and Kyrie. But Luka and Kyrie are going to get that bucket. Like, they can try, they can make them work a little bit harder. But great offense in football, great offense in basketball. Hey, man, you can make them work harder, but eventually, if they're good, they're going to put up points. They're going to find a way to put up points. And it's the same thing on the reverse. When you look at Derrick Jones and PJ Washington and what they've been able to do, right? Yeah. It's going to be tougher, a little bit tougher in this series than previously for Boston with Brown and Tatum. And Tatum has a lot to prove in this series. The pressure on that young man coming off of disappointment in the previous final and the disappointment of that Miami Heat series last year, he has a lot to prove. That's a lot of weight on his shoulder. How does he react to that? Dallas, in my opinion, going back to your point, is going to come into this series playing with house money, playing a lot looser. I think Boston has some things to overcome emotionally, some things to get over that I think they can get over. And if they do get over, they might end up winning this series. But I fully understand why you're going with Dallas, because at the end of the day, they are who they are. They're going to play loose. And if they can make shots, this series is not about Kyrie and Luka to me. Kyrie and Luka are going to do their thing. This series is about everybody else staying in their lane and doing what they do. They don't have to do anything special. Just do what you do. Derrick Jones Jr., another guy that was with the Bulls, I guess wasn't worth anything. All of a sudden, he goes to Dallas. Now he's hitting 3-point shots. Remember they told us he couldn't shoot when he was here in Chicago?
Yep.
Now he's knocking down the corner 3 with consistency, playing defense, slashing to the bucket. They found a use for him. PJ Washington, that corner 3 is deadly. He was great in the conference semis. Not so well against Minnesota, where he dipped down to about 25%. He was up around 40% against OKC. Now, which PJ Washington do we get? If he's hitting 40% in this series against Boston, Boston's in trouble, in my opinion. And then Lively and Gafford, what they do defensively, what they do on the glass, offensive rebounds, getting the break started, because, Jason Kidd loves to push the pace. with Luka and Kyrie.
That was him as a player.
if they do what they need to do, and they support the top two guys, I definitely can see Dallas coming away with the victory in this series.
Man, that was Jason Kidd, and guys, we're joined by Shawn Davis. All right, from talking a little NBA Finals action right here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That was Jason Kidd's MO, man. He wanted to get up and go. Get up and go. Give me that ball. Let's get out and run. Let's get out and run. Outlet passes, get up there, take it coast to coast, dish at the end. That was man, he loved that running gun style.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Talk to me specifically about Kyrie and the maturation of that young man. And I guess he's not really young. He's younger than us, but he's not young. He's almost 30 now, if not. But this dude's gone from kind of like just a young whippersnapper, kind of wild and crazy, to he's a lot more focused. He's a lot more serene. He's a lot more comfortable in his own skin. And you don't ever, ever, ever see him rattled. He is calm, cool as the other side of the pillow, as Stuart Scott used to say.
Yeah.
Talk about the maturation that he had from when he first came into the league until now, to where he's like just the quiet assassin.
People try to make it really complex, but it's really simple. Anybody out there that's ever raised a kid, especially if you've raised a young boy, and that young boy gets to about 15 and 16, and he starts to develop muscles, and he starts to feel himself, and he starts to get attention from the young ladies. He starts to get the early feelings and thoughts of what it is to be a man and be his own man, but he's still under your roof. And he's winning. He's getting good grades. He's winning on the athletic field. He's having accomplishments. This was Kyrie during his time in Cleveland. He was finding himself as a young man, but he was sniffing the fact that he could be one of those dudes, one of the top dudes in the league. And winning, all of a sudden, he felt like that kid that had his first apartment. Like, I'm grown. Yeah, it sounds good. But like my grandfather used to tell me, keep living. Keep living. You're so excited to get out on your own. You don't realize that that's the worst day of your life, when you have to do everything for yourself and you're no longer the responsibility of someone else that made life easy for you. And that's what he experienced in Boston, in Brooklyn. And he had to learn from that, man. He had to learn from that. So it was very easy to just see he was a young man that thought he was bigger than what he was at that time. And when he actually went out there and tried to, do it on his own and step out of his lane, he realized, like, yo, I'm not built for this. I'm not built to really lead young men. I wasn't built to lead a young Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in Boston when we had the opportunity to be a really good team.
Yep.
I wasn't built to lead in Brooklyn when I asked Kevin Durant to come join me instead of going back to Golden State. I wasn't ready. I wasn't the man I thought I was. I wasn't the leader I thought I was. I wasn't the basketball player I thought I was. But to his credit, he showed incredible resilience. And the one thing we tell people in life as a coach, I'm sure you told your young men this, SuperBack, just don't give up. As long as you don't give up, you keep pushing, you can win. As long as there's time on the clock, you can win. And I have to tip my cap to the young man after everything he went through, all the vitriol he received from fans, from other players in the NBA for his stance, with COVID and the lockdown and not wanting to be in the bubble and all of that. His own peers turned on him. He withstood everything, remained a really great family man, husband, father, and he has just really matured into what a lot of people and his mentor, Kobe Bryant, thought he could be. It took a while. He went through some tumultuous times.
Oh, yeah.
He came out on the other side of the storm, and here he is on the biggest stage that you can ever be on when it comes to NBA basketball. Once again, he's already shown what he can do in a Game 7 on this stage. I would expect nothing less than for him to show out in this series. But you have to tip your cap to the young man for just who he's become and what he's had to go through to get there.
And I love it because as a coach, I've had many a player that were, you know, similar to Kyrie, you know, talented, had some success early, and then, you know, life has a way of humbling you, you know, and you got to go to the good and the bad. And that's one of the bad things about having success early, you know, is that you feel you're on top of the world and you're invincible. And as I said, life will bring you down. Life will say, no, it's not always going to be this good.
Yeah.
And those are the times you learn from them. Those are the times that you learn and you become a better basketball player, but more importantly, a better person. And it seems like Kyrie has made that transformation, and I'm happy for him as a young black man who got vitriol from, that you mentioned, from his teammates, from his people, from, you know, basically his whole community. And he stood tall. He stood tall despite all that. And like you said, now he's a leader. Now he's a leader. He's a leader that those Celtics that he's playing didn't have years ago. He's a leader back then because he had LeBron. And I like LeBron. LeBron used to let him take a lot of the game-winning shots at the end of the games because he's like, I know who I am. I need you to do it. And Kyrie would make some, he'd miss some, he'd make some, he'd miss some. But that was all part of the process. And I'm just anxious to see how it plays out, how he plays in this, going up against his former team, former teammates, the city that, you know, he called home for a while. Interesting, man. So I know you mentioned it before, but before we let you go, give me your thoughts on who wins and how many games.
As I sit here today, and I'll text you tomorrow morning because I'm sure it might change, right? It might change before a tip. But as I sit here today, and this is the caveat, if Porzingis comes back and can be effective, Boston will win the series. If there's no Porzingis, Dallas is going to win this series because their bigs are going to dominate. Their bigs are going to dominate the boards. They're not going to have anybody to stop the lob game from Kyrie and Luka, which is absolutely phenomenal. Derek Lively was 16 for 16 in the Western Conference Finals, didn't miss a shot, and most of the time it was a lob right at the rim or a dunk on a layoff. So if Porzingis is not there and you're dependent on Al Horford to be that defender, when teams have shown in these playoffs, all they want to do is get him and pick and roll and get the mismatch, because on the outside, if Al Horford is having to defend Kyrie and Luka consistently over the span of a series, that's going to be trouble. So literally for me, this comes down to one player in this series and what he would mean for Boston in defending the rim and also stretching the floor. Because one thing I think Dallas has shown, they don't have a problem squeezing the floor defensively against slashers. They were able to do it and make it difficult against Anthony Edwards, who was coming off I'm talking about a transitional series against Denver, where I thought he was ready to take that next step, and they shut him down and brought him back down to earth. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, if they're not hitting shots, they're going to have problems. Dallas, they've done an incredible job shutting down driving lanes. And Minnesota had wide open looks from three. They just couldn't consistently knock them down over the course of a series. The same challenge is going to fall upon Boston. They have much better shooters than Minnesota, but I truly believe Dallas is going to win this series if Porzingis does not come back healthy or if he doesn't play. So I'll leave it at that. Boston wins if Porzingis plays and he's healthy, but if he doesn't and he's not effective, Dallas is definitely going to take the series in 6.
Man, great stuff, Papa. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yo, you can find me over at irishbreakdown.com. We just had the Irish invasion. We had SuperBack. A ton of Chicago kids came down and showed out in South Bend this past Sunday. Yeah, Trey Taylor, who you know is the quarterback for our guy Jason McKee up there at Carmel Catholic. He put on the show. We had an offensive lineman from Marist, had a safety running back from St. Rita. They both showed out. And then a kid, Narcir Rankin, a wide receiver who's a 4-star, who just transferred from Whitney Young over to Morgan Park. Absolutely fabulous wide receiver to look at coming up this season. Look forward to all of those kids and hearing about them during the high school season this fall. I cover them. I cover other recruits with the Irish and nationally. So irishbreakdown.com. Block in with me. Then Lucky Lefty Podcast, which I co-host with my guy Malik Zaire. We're going to have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah coming on this week because he'll be going to Notre Dame with his younger brother, who is a 5-star linebacker at IMG. His official visit is to South Bend this weekend. So Jeremiah is going to jump on with us to talk about him. He just had a youth football camp in Ghana last weekend.
Oh, wow.
That's right. He just had a youth football camp over in Ghana, his homeland. So that's incredible. We're going to talk to him about that as well. So you can follow us on Instagram and X at Lucky Lefty Pod. And you can follow me at SD2Mics on Instagram and X as well. Tap in with us. We talk about everything. And it's good to talk to you and see you once again, man. We definitely look, man, we got to stop this. We got to be better. I'm in Olympia Fields. You're in Orland Park. We got to be better. We got to do at least breakfast at the Pancake House right there on LaGrange or something. We got to link up.
Bet. We'll do that. I'll be in touch soon, bro. I appreciate the time. As always, great stuff, bro. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, now. Guys, that's Shawn Davis joining us. Great stuff. And we're going to switch gears. My man. You know what? Building this little podcast thing and network, you have so relationships. Shawn Davis was one of them. That I didn't build it through that. I was at Illinois Media School, Illinois Center for Broadcasting at the time, and that's where I met Shawn. We've been friends ever since 2013. 11 years. Well, my next guest, we're going to take a quick break, but on the other side, man, I met Lester a few years ago, the last year that the Bears had their camp in Bourbonnais, if you want to call it. And I got to meet him and a lot of the guys from Windy City Gridiron. And it just you get to meet so many just really dope people. And that's kind of what this whole world is about. The more good people you have around you. And we're going to talk to Lester on the other side. Any big takeaways from the first day of mandatory minicamp? Are we, is the sky falling yet? Caleb threw another interception yesterday. Nate Davis didn't practice yesterday. Is the sky falling, or we just got to take a chill pill? If you know me, you know my take. But we're going to welcome Lester on the other side of the break, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Are you okay with the idea if this is a contract year, going out and proving it and looking for that next deal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the goal right now, just to go out and do what I always do and, just try to remain who I am and, the market just got reset. So, not really. As far as I've been here, it's been nothing but love. It's been beautiful. The golf is amazing, which I love to do, and the guys are amazing in the locker room as well. So I mean, it wouldn't be hard to adjust to a city like this. He's obviously a guy that has tremendous talent, but it's gonna be a work in progress. Like you said, he just came out of college. The huddle call, having new terminology. For myself, some of the plays are the same, but the terminology is different. So you hear one word and you automatically go back to what I was hearing last year, but you have to transfer it to this year, and it's like same play, different word. So you just got to mix and match it, and that's kind of he's gonna have to grow to it, and it takes a while. So.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That was Keenan Allen yesterday after the first day of mandatory minicamp, just talking Caleb, talking a lot of just talking Bears football, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited as much of all of Bear Nation is. My next guest, we're going to continue this conversation because I'm fired up to talk to him. As I said, he's a good friend of the program, been rocking with us for some years now. He's the head honcho over there. He's the editor-in-chief, the man 50 grand over there at Windy City Gridiron. You can find him on Twitter at Wiltfong Jr., Wiltfong Jr. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Lester Wiltfong Jr. Lester, what's up, Papa? Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, Shawn. How you doing?
Man, I am wonderful. Wonderful day today. Man, I feel good. Get to talk with one of my guys, and what better way to start your day than that, man? Let me tell you.
Minicamp. Mandatory minicamp's open, man. It's an exciting time to be a Bears fan. We're getting some real news nuggets from Hal Saul, so that's kind of cool to see. So it was rough, man. Those voluntary ones. Media was there once, then once the other time, and they're so limited what they can report on. So it's nice seeing some more clips, and we want more Caleb content. That's what fans want right now.
That's what they do. They want, and and it's good and bad for me because everyone it's so extreme. If Caleb has, when he had the bad day, and everyone was like, "Oh, Caleb struggles. He struggled. Oh my God, trade him, cut him." Then I'm like, dude. Relax. He's going up against the top 3 back 7 in the NFL. Relax. Then he has a good day. Oh, he had a good day today. Woo! We're back. Super Bowl MVP. Like, take it easy. Relax. Like the extreme swings are what frustrate me with a lot of us. Our media, and it's like you don't need to go all the way from this extreme to that extreme to this extreme to that extreme. It's exhausting. It really, really is. I'm happy when Caleb does well. All right, I'm happy when the defense does well. But I said it all last week. I'm like, I want Caleb to fail epically up until the regular season. Yeah. I said, because that is the only way you learn. When you play up against the top defense every day and they can get you, you learn. Like, okay, how do I do it? And that's the best experience. And I want him to fail epically until the first regular season game. And because if he does, and he starts to learn and pick up things and get iron sharpens iron and get sharpened by this defense, man, Tennessee might not have a chance. So I'm looking forward to actually getting the pads on, but they got to stop this extreme momentum swing from, oh, he's a bust, he's terrible, bury him under the jail, to, oh, Super Hall of Famer. Why? Come on, man. Take it easy. It's killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
It's crazy. We had the same conversation a lot when we go down to training camp. Me and my podcast partner, Jeff Burkus, because we're watching camp, right? We're watching the practice, and the offense brings all the big cheers, right? But it's like, the defense, those guys are Bears too, so the defense are going to make plays. Let's be happy when the defense does something good, as well as the offense does something good, because that's the team as a whole. Once they get out and like I said, against Tennessee, like I said, iron sharpens iron. You've already heard them talk about how going against a top defense with a good secondary, a pretty good front 4 or front 7, that's going to help Caleb, be a better quarterback. And like you said, man, he's a rookie, so those are still going to happen. He's still seeing things for the first time at this level. He may be coming in as the number 1 overall pick. And there's some fans, it don't matter, man. It doesn't matter what he does. They're gonna be salty about it if he's not great from the start. You're never gonna change those guys' minds. I'm enjoying the ride, man. I think it's kind of fun to see how he's handling the pressure and he's handling what's going on in Chicago right now, because he's embraced being a Bear, and it's kind of cool.
He really has, and he's done it in a cool way. He has a little claw thing, and which I think is goofy, but it's everybody loves it, and you know what? If you love it, then go with it, because it's goofy to me, but it shows that he's willing to roll with the punches. It's willing to show that he's inundated, he's immersed in being a Bear. He enjoys being a Bear. So I mean, I think it's goofy, but I got no problem with him. Like that's who it's his personality. Let him be. He's quirky. Hey, that's cool, man. The one thing you want him to be is himself, and he's unapologetically done so, and I'm cool with that. And I could think it's goofy all I want, but I'm happy he's being him, and he's not conforming to the media pressure, to other people, to whatever. And I'm more than happy about that. Talk to me. There were some issues yesterday with the cadence, and one of the things that how we had talked about before is him having access to the playbook with his quarterback coach, who's good friends with Shane Waldron even before he was drafted. And those are one of the things that you work on. There were a couple false starts yesterday. Do you think that it's okay to have those right now, or are you concerned because of the cadence issues that we had, that the Bears had yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, that was reported by a lot of the guys in the beat that were there at House Hall about the cadence problems, the false starts. And I'm glad that Flus mentioned it in the press conference. Him, Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, they talked about it. Rookie quarterback coming from that system at USC that he ran. It's all shotgun. It's all, the plays coming from the sideline. This is his first few months here calling and playing the huddle. I mean, that's new to him, so to speak. So he's learning how to do that. He's learning how to use his cadence as a weapon, which you heard Flus and Cole Kmet talk about. The greats all do it. Caleb Williams patterns his game after Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest of all time at using that cadence as a weapon. I mean, we see it all the time. He draws the defense off sides. He snaps the ball at the last possible second. He works the play clock. He works the cadence for his favor. He takes all those advantages. So I see no reason why Caleb Williams has not been studying that his whole career, and he'll get there eventually. But yeah, I mean, having these hiccups now in June, I'm all for it, because when it comes week 1 Tennessee, let's have all that ironed out and he'll be fine and good to go.
My thoughts exactly, Lester. My thoughts. You know what? And just think, if he hadn't had access to the playbook and work on that prior, where would this be? Where would yesterday be? Would yesterday be in the beginning of training camp?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything has been sped up because of his exposure to the system that Shane Waldron has. So all the mistakes you see now, those would have been happening in training camp. And then it's like, oh my God, he couldn't even get the snap in training camp. They're on the same page and this and this. It's a whole bunch of, I mean, we're always looking, as Bear fans, we're always looking to get crazy and get extreme with one way or the other. So again, I hope he fails. I hope he's learning. I hope he's getting a lot of stuff wrong, because in the process of him getting a lot of stuff wrong, he's getting a lot of stuff right. Yeah. His talent has taken over. They've talked about, he's hit a couple of nice throws to some of the wide receivers, because his talent is there. Now you get all the other stuff out of the way, man. We're gonna hit the ground running, or pretty seemingly close to it, come week 1. Talk to me about Shane Waldron, though. Like, because in my opinion, that was the most important acquisition this offseason. Yeah. Was the offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. How do you think he's going about this with Caleb? Because he's got time. We still got 3 months, right, before we hit our first game. But he's got time, so he can really work with this guy. How do you feel he's addressing it? You think he's throwing a lot at him so he can catch it, see how much he can retain, or is he going little by little by little? What do you think he's doing, and what would you think would be the best way to go about it with Caleb?
Yeah, I think you nailed it, talking about how much of an early start he had. I mean, he's kind of, based on his work with the QB Collective, he's kind of understood some of this offensive principles, his whole football career, going back to high school. I mean, he's worked with the same group, and Shane Waldron's a part of that group. The people that run that Shanahan style, that McVay style scheme, they're part of that group. So he understands some of these concepts, and he's already been working with them. And like you said, as the first overall pick, he had concepts. His QB trainer has already worked with stuff what the Bears want to do. So you can only imagine that Shane Waldron is looking at what's happening right now with Caleb, and he's like, man, this guy is much further ahead than what most rookie quarterbacks should be. And that's because he had a chance to look at the playbook early and the schemes and what they're trying to do. So, man, it's awesome. I mean, I love the McVay-Shanahan tree myself. I think it's fantastic. There are so much things you can do off it. You know, Waldron runs that, you know, to a degree. You know, we may not see as much outside zone as McVay does. I mean, I think if you look at Waldron's stuff in Seattle, he did a little more inside zone than I think some fans think. So that may be happening this year with Chicago, but that's fine. I mean, the Bears have the stable of running backs that can handle that. You know, the weapons are there. And another thing about Shane Waldron, you know, that 1920 drive clip when they were going to draft Rome Odunze, that was the funniest thing when Ryan Poles looked over to Shane and said, "Is that okay with you with Rome, or is that okay?" Because he's giving him more talent to work with. And Shane Waldron, as we've seen through Seattle, his 3 years there, he'll work with what he has. If you got a bunch of tight ends, I'm going to run a 3 tight end set. If you got talented receivers, let's go 3 receiver set. If you got a bell cow tailback, let's work him right there. So Waldron will run based on his talent. But man, he has everything in Chicago. You know, if the quarterback comes along at a nice pace, he has tight ends, he has running backs, he has receivers. He can do anything he wants.
I agree. And it's a question by Jay Grizz. So doesn't that translate to a short learning curve for Caleb? Meanwhile, folks are saying to give him time to adjust it. No, it's not a shorter learning curve. It's just a learning curve started sooner.
Yeah.
All right. It just started sooner. So it doesn't shorten the learning curve. It just, his mistakes are getting out of the way beforehand. All right. Because this all would have been pushed back. That's what I said, probably into training camp, you know, in July in front of all the fans, and everyone's, oh my God, the sky's falling. Now he's going through the same struggles he would. It's just he got started sooner. And I think that's the most important thing is like, get it out of the way, you know? So, and I love it. You know, I'm really excited about this offense, and I'm really excited about, I know this sounds weird, but you made me think of this when you talked about, you know, keeping Kari Blasingame, keeping him, because now you can go 22 personnel. You know what I mean? And I like that, you know, and that, because to me, that sets the tone, Lester. 2 tight ends, a fullback, or hell, you want to get stupid with it, you go 23 personnel. You go 23 personnel with a tight end in motion or an offensive lineman checked in as eligible and put him in motion, clearing the way. And following him, Kari Blasingame, following him, DeAndre Swift or Khalil Herbert or Rashawn Johnson. That sets the tone. That sets the culture for this team. Yeah, we got Caleb Williams. We got these 3 stud receivers. We're going to throw the ball around the field, you know, a lot later in the season and in upcoming years. But we're still going to punch you in the mouth on 3rd and 1. And I think that is the most important thing, is that identity, that mentality that they have. You go 2 tight ends or 3 tight end sets with a fullback. Yeah, that's no punk. That's not a finesse offense. We're gonna punch you in the mouth, and that I think Bear fans are gonna love. In addition to the long passes and the tons of yards we're gonna have, but when it's down and dirty, it's 3rd and 1, we got to get it. We know what's happening. So do you. You just got to stop it, and that to me is important. That mentality that they're gonna instill in this team.
I'm glad you brought up the fullback, because the talk around social media, a lot of the chat rooms, a lot of the stuff with Bears is Shane Waldron never uses a fullback. You know, Kari Blasingame is going to get cut. Okay, well, they've gone through the OTA program. They're in the middle of vet minicamp. Blasingame's still on the roster. I think we've seen Ryan Poles, you know, through his years, when he determines a guy is not part of his team going forward, he will move him off his roster as quick as possible. I'm assuming at some point a discussion was made with the OC and hey, do you want a fullback or not? If he would have said yes, okay, good. If he would have said no, I think Kari Blasingame would have been cut by now. So the fact that he's still on this roster, I mean, who knows? I mean, things can change once camp gets here and you see some other vet cuts around the league. But Shane Waldron, even though he has never used a fullback, you know, a fullback, you know, so to speak, in Seattle, he puts his tight end back there as an H-back. Same thing, same position, different title. You know what I mean? He still has the lead blocker. He still has the guy flexed out out of the wing. It's the same thing. Blasingame just plays a different position than what the 3rd tight end H-back does. So I think Blasingame's going to stick around. I mean, he doesn't make a ton of money. You know, he's on a pretty decent contract for what they want to do. He's a core special teamer. his blocking ability may come in handy on these new kickoff rules. So, who knows what they're going to do with the fullback. But I think Blasingame stays. And plus, man, I watched some of his film when he was in college, the stuff he did in Tennessee. He's got some juice to his game, man. I mean, he's a good athlete. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and I think we're going to see, he's going to stick around and make a bit of an impact this year.
You know what? And because you're right, because he does exactly what an H-back would do. But coming out of the backfield, though, he's a lot more athletic once he gets the ball in his hands. He's a much better ball carrier than a tight end. All right, he can get out because I believe, I'm not mistaken, I believe he was a tailback younger in his early. He just got bigger, but he can move. That dude can move. That dude, and then I've seen tape of him, running over people, hurdling people, and so now you don't have to worry about your 3 tight ends. Now you got the guy. I mean, imagine you got a tight end here and a tight end on a wing. You come out this way and he leaks out of the backfield, and all of a sudden you got a 240-pound, 250-pound guy with a head of steam. Yeah, that's a lot. I think that's a weapon that Shane Waldron is going to really, really enjoy using a lot this season, and that's going to be so fun when it's 3rd and 1, and all of a sudden, and we've been punching you in the mouth, getting a first down every single time, and all of a sudden you leak the fullback out, and there's nobody there. Woo, Charlie, Bears fans are going to go nutso. Talk to me about the wide receivers. All right, Keenan Allen, you mentioned it a little bit. He talked about, he's open to the possibility of staying here in Chicago. Your thoughts on one this season, how he can help Rome Odunze. All right. Also, DJ Moore. Are his numbers going to be tempered a little bit because of the other receivers? And then Rome Odunze. Is he going to have a sneakily good year because he's going to be facing, at best, the third best cornerback in a secondary? At best, because if someone's hurt and he's got to face the 4th best or the guy that just got off the street, now you're getting a 1st-round draft pick, or if a guy going up against a guy off the street. Talk to me about those 3 guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good problem to have for Chicago. I mean, they talk about how DJ Moore said it's a race to 1,000 yards, and Keenan Allen talked about it yesterday as well at his presser. I mean, it's true. I mean, you got 3 guys capable of hitting that. Obviously, Rome Odunze is a rookie, but man, he's coming in with all the credentials, with the hype that he is a legit number 1 at some point in the NFL. So it's a great problem to have, and these guys are going to help Caleb immensely. I mean, Keenan Allen is such a pro. I mean, Matty Eberflus called him crafty. He said, "Yep, I'm a crafty receiver." That's who he is at this point in his career. He can get open, he can work the zone. He understands all the little things that the vet receivers do. When can I push off? How do I set the DB up for this route or for that route? It's going to be pretty cool to see, because Odunze, like you said, he's going up against possibly the 3rd best cover corner on a team, because, I mean, if you're putting your guys out there, you have to respect DJ Moore. You have to respect Keenan Allen. And then, I mean, you have to respect Rome Odunze, but, there's only so much respect to go around, because teams don't have 3 high-quality corners at
not like us.
So it's going to be it's a fun problem to have. And then, we haven't mentioned tight ends, man. How do you also cover Cole Kmet, who is shown to be a capable receiver? Gerald Everett, he's doing his thing. Swift out of the backfield. Like I said, man, Shane Waldron, he can do whatever he wants. He can run any type of personnel package he wants, and he will find a mismatch somewhere.
Guys, we're joined by Lester Wilfong Jr., editor-in-chief over there at Windy City Gridiron, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Defensively, are you good with the defense? I think they're a top 10 defense. Or do you want one more player? Do you want that big name edge, or do you want that big name 3-tech, or are you good with this defense?
I think go either way. I mean, I think at some point they do want to add a defensive lineman, whether that be a 3-tech, whether that be an edge. You hear a lot of buzz about Yannick Ngakoue coming back. And look, he ain't coming back at $10 million a year like he did last year. If he comes back, it's going to be a 1-year deal, $3, $4, $5 million with some incentives possibly. And I think that's fine. I mean, he's still a pro's pro. I mean, he knows how to play football, but we've been hearing some small buzz about Austin Booker, from some of the vets, from some of the coaches. Right. And I'm really excited to see how he can translate his game. Really young, a redshirt sophomore. He has a lot of tools, got to learn how to put them together. But, him developing by the end of the season, I think is going to be key for this team. But yeah, adding another guy and possibly 3-tech as well. I like Gervon Dexter. I think he's going to have a big jump this year, but we haven't seen it. So, you did lose Justin Jones, who was part of your D-line rotation. You didn't really replace that productivity. So someone's going to happen. There's going to be a vet at some point added. It's going to be a cost-efficient guy, and I think it's going to really set this team up. But if they don't, maybe the Keith Randolph from Illinois steps up as a UDFA DT. Maybe Dominique Robinson takes a step. I know he's had a lot of athleticism. Who knows? I mean, the Bears are kind of feeling all that out now during the offseason. They're seeing how they perform here in vet minicamp. Once training camps come, they'll kind of see how they work with pads on. And if they feel a need to go out and get an edge, they'll do it.
Talk to me about the importance of Eric Washington. He's a man who's coach / defensive coordinator, and he tends to get the most out of his players. We know what Montez Sweat does. He's a multiplier, and he's just a beast. We saw Gervon Dexter pointing in the right direction the last 3 or 4 or 5 games of the season last year. But now you're working with Eric Washington, a guy who has a history of really getting the best out of D linemen. How good do you think Gervon Dexter can be? But also on the edge, you got DeMarcus Walker, but you also have Booker. You have this young guy who hasn't played a lot of football yet, being coached at the beginning of it. And I feel that Coach Washington is going to be here for a few years at least. Yeah. And now he has the fortunate luck to be coached by this guy, one of the best defensive line coaches for the first couple in the beginning of his NFL career. Talked about the Eric Washington effect on this defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Washington was in Chicago years ago, and you heard his players, just praise him back then, and he's always been that good guy on the D line wherever he's been. He had a chance to have a little elevated title with the Bills the last few years. He comes in now in Chicago as the D coordinator, although he's not calling plays, but I think he's the guy that Flus hopes eventually will take over that role. He has the experience, he has the chops to do it. But for this year, for year one, yeah, I think he'll be focusing more on the D line. And it's like you said, there's some talent there. Let's see how they all come together. I'm curious to see how Zach Pickens takes a step.
Yes,
at this point in his rookie year. I liked what he did in college. I thought he would kind of do a little bit more. He looked like a guy kind of got caught playing out of position. I think he may be best as your backup 3-tech, moving forward. If unless they bring another guy in, I think they tried him on the nose a bit last year. Wasn't really the best fit for him. But also you look at the D-line coach, Travis Smith. He worked with Max Crosby. I think we talked about it before on your show. And Booker's comped a lot to Max Crosby, similar things. So, they brought him along in with the Raiders to become a Pro Bowl talent. And now I'm not saying Booker's going to make that, but there's a guy there that did it before. He's now going to mold this guy, and then you add also Washington along the top of that, and all the stuff he did in Buffalo with that really good defensive line there. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for some of these young guys on the Bears.
What are you looking at as their final record? Because they have the NFL did them a solid. All right, you talk about you don't have a conference game, a division game, until week 11. So your first 9 games are against very, very winnable teams. The Texans week 2 on the road, that's definitely going to be a tough one, I believe. The Colts, you don't really know how Anthony Richardson going to come back. Is he going to have like the Patrick Mahomes effect where I know he was injured. Patrick wasn't injured his rookie year, but he's still got a chance to sit and we'll look at football from a different perspective. What about the Rams? What about the Jaguars? You see this real quick. The first 10 weeks, so the first 9 games. All right. How do you see what record do you see the Bears possibly having after week 10?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bears should have a winning record at least by then. I mean, you're going to have some rookie struggles, obviously, with Caleb. He's going to do a couple things here and there where you're like, man, that's definitely a rookie mistake. But the talent on this team, the expectations from the quarterback position, I see no reason why this team should not be pushing for a playoff spot. Now that they may fall short. We'll see how some other teams around the NFC develop, but if you can get to 9 wins, you're in the playoff mix. 10, you're probably guaranteed a playoff spot in the NFC. So, and this team last year had 7, And there were at least 3 games where you're like, man, that game's on the coaching staff. You're like, yeah, there was some mistakes that are made late, the conservative nature, the strange stuff on defense, the offense not going for the jugular, but I think now Waldron's got the offense. We're not going to see those same kind of missteps. Coach Flus, he's in year 3 now as the man. Did he learn some lessons from his past mistakes? I think he, it's always assumed, this is who you are as a coach, but these guys can grow, they can develop too. So hopefully he now is a little less conservative as he has in the past. So coaching staff stays on point, how they're supposed to be. The offense develops how we expect them to happen. The defense, man, they're already the top 10 unit for sure. So I mean, I'm seeing playoffs. I mean, I'm seeing at least, I'm seeing this as a 10-win team right now. I mean, if they can get a couple breaks here and there, who knows?
I got them at 10. Minimum. I have it 10 and 7. And it all depends on how fast this all goes, because you have the first 10 weeks where you have teams that might not be able to exploit the mistakes that you make. All right. The second part of the season. Yeah. I don't know if you have some of those teams early, they might exploit them, but I think you're going to be able to get rid of a lot of the rookie youngster mistakes that you have and not get killed by them with some of these teams, and that is going to be huge. And so week 11, when we welcome Green Bay here to the lakefront, our lakefront, it's going to be a team that hopefully they've already taken, at least one of the training wheels off that bike. You know what I mean? Maybe one of them, because you already had 10 weeks to experiment with different things, and then going into that stretch of the last 7 games or 8 games is going to be really, really interesting. So I say 10 and 7. I say playoffs, 10 and 7 minimum, but I definitely say playoffs. So it's going to be a fun ride to watch, man, and experience. And I just tell Bear fans, just be where your feet are at. Right now we're in mandatory minicamp. Enjoy it. All right, be happy when he does well. Be happy when he doesn't do well, because if he doesn't do well, that means the defense did well. There's a lot of good stuff to that, and it's all about perspective. Whatever you want to focus on, to be happy with this Bears team, man. Lester, great stuff as always, man. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor though, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Everything I write goes at windycitygridiron.com. All our podcast and audio stuff is at secondcitygridiron.com. And then I'm on Twitter, of course, at WiltFongJR.
Dude, great stuff, man. I appreciate it, man. Bear down.
Anytime, my friend. We'll talk. All
righty. Guys, that's Lester Wiltfong Jr. talking Bears football with us. Great stuff. I appreciate his time. Man, that was dope. There's a couple other things that happened yesterday that could really affect the Bears moving forward. One of the things that happened yesterday, or was reported yesterday, it might have happened the day before, was this. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, just got the highest salary, highest contract, biggest contract for wide receivers. Actually, it's the biggest non-quarterback contract in the history of the NFL. 4 years, $140 million, and $110 million is guaranteed. That's insane. Justin Jefferson's been one of the top receivers in the NFL since he got here. You lock this guy up for 4 years, but the way this affects the Bears is that DJ Moore is under contract for this year and next year. Okay, at 16, possibly 16 mil per. That was Lester. At 16 mil per, give or take. All right. DJ is a number 1 receiver. Okay. The Bears were fortunate to get that deal done with him, and he had 3 years left on his contract. So now with this market being set, you heard Keenan in the presser saying that the market was just set. Where does this put the Bears in regard to DJ Moore? Should they rush to the table to negotiate now? Or should they wait? they wait because today's price is not tomorrow's price. Okay? When you get to tomorrow's price definitely isn't yesterday's price. Do you let it play out? What would you do? Do you anticipate his numbers dropping because Keenan Allen, because Rome Odunze, because of Cole Kmet? You see that happening? Or do you say, hey, you're 27 years old. You got another 4 to 5, you got another 3 great years left. And you can have another 2 good to really good seasons after that. Do you go in and you re-sign him? Let me not say that. Do you go in with contract negotiations now, this summer, before the season starts? Or do you play it out? Because if he has a great year, what if they all have a great year? But if he has a great year, he's got 1 more year under his contract, but he's going to want a lot of money after 25. And he'll only be 28 years old, 29. So he'll have another 2 to 3 great years. Yeah, probably 2 great years. And then maybe another above average, good to great, good to very good year. What do you do? Time polls. Or is Rome Odunze your replacement for DJ Moore? Your thoughts, guys, your thoughts on what they do. Because this reset the market. And do you think Justin is the type of guy that's going to want to reset the market? Because what if Justin goes and has 1,300 yards again? What if he has 1,300 yards again? What if he has 1,200 yards with all those weapons? There's a lot. There's a lot that's got to be decided on, and Ryan Poles has to make these decisions. You know, yesterday, it came, according to a few articles that I was reading, where it said Ryan Poles said, for all intents and purposes, he said the reason they ended up going with Caleb was that Justin Fields was a quarterback that you can win with. And they felt that Caleb was a quarterback that you can win because of. I disagree with that. I also don't get paid millions of dollars to make that decision. But I disagree with the fact that Justin's a quarterback you win with. I'm not saying that Caleb isn't a quarterback that you win because of. I'm not saying that at all. I think he just made a poor assessment on Justin. And I could be wrong, but I've been wrong before. But that was the reason. That was the reason that he went with Caleb, according to multiple results yesterday. Multiple reports, not results, multiple reports yesterday. I respect it for his sake. I hope he's right. But he could be wrong and still be right. Caleb could be a quarterback you win because of, but Justin Fields can also be a quarterback that you win because of, and over in Pittsburgh. But as long as Caleb is a guy that you can win because of, okay, then let's go with it. All right, I told you I wasn't happy with it, but I'm still a Bears fan, and until I can't trust Ryan Poles, I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust him, and I do. All right. And the thing about the trust is I don't have to like what he does. I just trust in his vision. I trust in his vision. Look what he's done in 2 years. All right. Reshaped the model, reshaped this roster, I should say. Reshaped the roster, got rid of all those crazy contracts that were weighing the team down. They had no flexibility in a with cap space. And they got rid of all those big contracts. Most of that defense, you remember, Akeem Hicks, Roquan Smith. Who we got? Bilal Nichols. Okay. Eddie Jackson, who still hasn't been signed yet. All these bad contracts, bad for the organization, good for the player. All those bad contracts that he had to eat and had to have the dead money in year 2, which was last year, which opened up a lot of cap space this year. In 2 years, look what he's done. So I trust him. I trust him. Again, I just may not like all of his moves, but I trust him. What do you think? What do you think about this defense? What do you think about this defense? This defense has to understand that they're going to be required to carry the load, so to speak. All right, they're going to be required to kind of pick up some extra slack early on as this offense develops. Now, when it develops, that's a crazy question. We don't know. Will this defense do their best? Do their best to make short fields. Do their best to score. If you're a defense that has a reputation or to score, pick six, scoop, fumble, scoop and score, whole bunch of other, how much pressure did they put on themselves and say, this year we have to do this. This year, for the first 10 games, we got to do this. Are they talking about that? Do they embrace that? I think they would. But I don't want them to start overcompensating. I mean, you go after the ball, but you don't secure the tackle. That would be my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. That would be my worst nightmare. I think the defense that as long as Coach Eberflus talks to them and says, hey, I need you to pick up a little more of the slack for a while to start the season. Yeah. I'm anxious also to see this D-line. We talked with our guy Lester and Eric Washington. How's he going to affect Austin Booker? How's he going to affect DeMarcus Walker and Montez Sweat and Gervon Dexter? All this, we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it work efficiently yet because it just hasn't. I mean, he just got here. I'm talking Eric Washington. We can only go by his past, what he's done, how well he's prepared other people in the past. He's prepared them very well, which is why I think the second most important acquisition this offseason was Eric Washington after the coordinators, after Shane Waldron. I think that's an underappreciated acquisition. So just watch out, see how they play, see how this young defensive line plays, because you start getting home with 4, man, it's going to be tough to pass on the back end of our defense. Really, really, really tough. That I can tell you. What about this all line? You know what? I mentioned earlier, but that Nate Davis thing is just still bothering me. And I'm trying not to be the negative Nancy over here, but man, you have a great opportunity and you don't want to practice. Hope it's just something's nagging or something, But that bugs me. That really bugs me. You had the offseason, this could have been taken care of. And unless you just got hurt recently, injured recently. But man, be here. Be here. You know, we didn't see him in the regular in OTAs or voluntary minicamp. Be here. Show your teammates you're down. Show your teammates you understand that you had a subpar last season. Some of it was you're dealing with the loss of your mom. You're coping with that, and your teammates would understand it. But they also need to know that you're here now. You're 10 toes down for these dudes. And as a player, I'd be like, all right, dude, you're here. Why can't you go through drills? Why can't you do everything like we're doing? That bugs me. I hope I don't have to circle back weeks, a few weeks down, and after they cut him or he hears and like, see, I knew something wasn't right with Nate. Excuse me. I really hope I don't have to circle back. Hey guys, do me a big favor. Make sure that you smash that like button for me, please. If you're watching this, please hit the like button. Please. It'll take you literally less than 5 seconds to do, but it'll help me out a lot. Okay? It'll help me out a lot. Make sure you hit the like button as you're watching, okay? Por favor, por favor. Pretty please with sugar on top. You know, speaking of the Bears, one of the cool things. Remember I talked earlier today about meeting cool people? Lester being one of them, Shawn Davis being another one. You know, I was very fortunate to meet Walter Payton's son, Jarrett, years ago. He was actually at Illinois Center for Broadcasting. He did a show at the station when I first started, before I started. So I got to meet him, and that was pretty cool. But I'm going there to tell you this, that, you know, where did that go? Did you take it? No. Why would you do that? Hold on, player. Hold on, player. Steve didn't realize what that was, and he erased it. Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Jarrett Payton is going to induct Steve McMichael into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, I'd known about this for a while. All right, I'd spoken with some people in the know. All right, I spoke with people in the know, so I was familiar with this. But how cool! The NFL Hall of Fame made it official yesterday. They sent out this flyer, and you can see it's the Steve McMichael's Hall of Fame presenter, Jarrett Payton, longtime friend, and I think that is so cool. You know, he talked about it yesterday on GN Sports. We talked about, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. He said, has anyone ever inducted two people? Because this is going to be his second. Remember, he inducted his dad into the Hall of Fame, all right, when he was a kid. I believe he was 13 years old when he did that. And now he's going to induct one of his dad's teammates. I don't know if there's been anyone who's done it twice. Okay. But man, that's dope. That's dope. Black Diamond in the house. Good morning. I don't think he wants to be here. You're talking Nate Davis. Which, if that's the case, then why sign? You know? I don't know. Bruja 7, what's going on? Better late than never. Like Smash, I appreciate it. Thank you. Listen, make sure you tune in today. All right, 1 o'clock. the SuperBack and Nomads. We'll have our daily Bears talk today. We're talking Bears at 1:00. I'm looking forward to that, talking with Nomad and the guys on the panel. We're going to replay this show at 6 tonight. So if you missed it, you can go back and you can check it out at 6:00 tonight. Man, I had a great show. I want to thank you guys. This chat was awesome. Still got people chiming in. Like I said, Black Diamond just checked in. Bruja just checked in. A whole bunch of other people. I appreciate the love and the support. I want to thank my guests. I want to thank Shawn Davis for coming on talking NBA Finals. The NBA Finals are going to be good starting tomorrow. All right, for all the reasons we discussed earlier. All right, the two closers that Dallas has. All right, Jalen Johnson and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. All right, those two, that dynamic duo for Boston. Now the role players for Boston, but Kyrie and Luka, they're role players. A lot of different stuff. Shawn Davis and I broke it down. I want to give him a big shout out. And then I want to give a big shout out to the man. You just saw him. He just got off. Lester Wilfong Jr., editor-in-chief of Windy City Gridiron, coming talking Bears with your boy. It's going to be a fun ride this year and beyond. All right? So let's just enjoy it. Stop calling people names. Stop who, one of the things that I listened to this morning, the arrogance of some people. People were saying CJ Stroud was on a podcast and he was asked if he'd rather have Eli Manning's career or Aaron Rodgers' career. He said, it's all about the chips. I want Eli Manning's career. And people were on him. They talked about the radio station this morning. I won't tell you which one. But they said, the producer was like, oh, well, he had one good year. Now he's authority on whatever. And my thought was, wait a minute. He made it to the NFL and gave it his opinion. Since when did you, who never played sports, become the authority on sports? Didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me, but I digress. Frustrating a little bit at times. All right. But anyway, just want to say thank you to my guests, Shawn Davis, Lester Wilfong. Great show. As I said, this is going to be replayed at 6 tonight. All right, I want to thank our executive producer, Elliot Baez. I want to thank our social media guy, Clarence. I want to thank my co-host, Essential Maya. All right, with you guys, we had a phenomenal show. I feel good about it. So listen, tell your loved ones you love them. All right, I've been losing some people lately, and it's just, man, you don't get a chance to say goodbye. Tell your loved ones that you love them. All right. I will see you later, peoples. I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. I got to go pick her up and then come back. I got a phone call. I got the podcast. I have a meeting tonight. I got a lot going, baby. I'm a lot. But to all my sports owners, I love and appreciate you. I appreciate the support that you give me. All right. I will be back on Friday. Well, I'll be back this afternoon, but I'll be back on Friday. All right. Talking Bears football with you. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, SuperBack, Shawn, Sierra, have a phenomenal day. Your boy is out.